Well, as I'm sure you know, there was a quite a big day for Nintendo yesterday. They had a Nintendo Direct and a lot was revealed on the Switch 2. Some good, some bad, like that Mario Kart game looks very, very awesome. It's an open world one, but definitely some bad. I mean, it's $450 and that is just for the console. The games are going to be like 70, 80 bucks, even 90 for physical. That was another big thing that a lot of people did not like. It's $10 more for a physical game. So yeah, a lot of mixed reactions, but overall, definitely a big moment for Nintendo. Now, here is the thing. Something that was announced yesterday that might have just already slipped your mind by now because it's really not that significant, was that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have the storage system be basically compatible with and only with something called a microSD express card. These are basically like external hard drives or memory cards. God, I remember when I had an 8 megabyte memory card for the PS2. Times definitely changed. But yeah, you know what this is. Basically, essentially, if you want external storage, any additional memory on your Switch 2, this is going to be what you are going to need to buy. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about scalping. So, scalping is something that Nintendo actually announced a few weeks ago that they are really going to be battling heavily with the Switch 2. They are going to make sure that there are enough units at launch and even enough products, you know, like, I don't know, extra Joy-Con, stuff like that, right at launch so that there won't be any issues with scalping on day one. And all of that is great, but you see, with these micro SD cards, these are, you know, these are like third-party items separate from Nintendo. Nintendo does not really have control over the supply of these items. So it's now one day after this announcement that these micro SD express cards will be used with the Switch 2, and already these scalpers are at it. Yeah, people have already bought these en masse, and now apparently they are trying to sell them at like double the price online. So Automaton says this about the Japanese website GameSpark. Apparently they are reporting that there are several online retailers that are based out of Japan that have already sold out of these cards, and now these cards are appearing online. They're on Amazon, eBay, stuff like that, and it sounds like they are being sold at double the price. Now, if you go actually over to that GameSpark article, it is in Japanese, so it was translated. I don't think a lot was lost in translation here. This is the main part where they kind of talk about it, where they say, as a result, most online stores have already sold out of the cards, and the prices have soared due to resale on Amazon and flea market sites. So then they talk about the fair price for kind of the larger card, the 256 gigabyte model. That is around 8,000 to 9,000 yen, which is about 50 or 60 US dollars. But there are cases, some cases, where they are being sold at double the price. And then this is something that may have been lost in translation. I'm not exactly sure what they are getting at here, but they said that as of 2 days ago, there was a large shipment of these cards that did arrive at a big store in Akihabara called Techno House Toei, and they are being sold at kind of what's considered the fair price. Now, Akihabara, to my understanding, is like a big tech like district or like part of a city in Japan that's basically just known for just selling a lot of tech stuff. So I don't know if the point they are making here specifically is that these stores were stocking up in anticipation for these scalpers ahead of this announcement, or if they are saying that a bunch of scalpers have sold their stuff to these shops in Akihabara. I'm not quite sure. But regardless, yeah, it sounds like scalpers are all over this card already. They've been buying it en masse, and like I said, some reports are indicating they are selling them at double the price. I suppose Nintendo can only control so much. They can only control their official products, not exactly the third-party ones. So we will see from now up until the Switch 2 releases what the supply of these micro SD express cards will actually look like. Hopefully the scalpers will lose this one. I definitely don't like scalpers. I'm definitely hoping for the best for anybody that's just, you know, a typical consumer that does not want to be paying a stupidly high price for these cards all because of scalpers.